Leicester Till I Die podcasts on the Apple iTunes, Spotify, Google, Anchor, and all podcast platforms.
You are watching Leicester Till I Die TV with Chris and Chums. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Pinterest. All you need for everything Leicester City FC. It's Leicester Till I Die TV.
Strap yourself in,
because we're set up, switched on, and ready to go.
Hi everybody, Jerry Taggart here. Now be sure to watch Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV by subscribing on YouTube and following them on social media for all the latest Leicester City news and information. Come on you foxes!
Good afternoon, fellow Fox fans. Welcome along. It's Sunday afternoon. I am totally and utterly disorganised. If we get through this show with it all going smoothly, I'll be surprised. Nothing's where it should be, but I am matching. Look at that, matching cup and shirt. That's impressive, isn't it? Don't ask about the underwear. So we've got a game this afternoon. 2:05 it is. Don't know if you like me. I saw it on the news that the match had been put back, and I thought, oh hello, what's going on? It's for broadcasting purposes. It was put back from 2 till 2:05, and of course we all know why that is. It's because Sky are also covering Tottenham, Arsenal, Man United, all the big teams as well today, and realised, shit, we haven't actually got any time when we've got to mention Leicester City. We'd better find 5 minutes for them. We'll put the game back 5 minutes. I suppose in fairness, we're lucky that they're giving us 5 minutes. You've got us for 30 minutes. Don't you worry about that. We're live now on YouTube at Leicester Till I Die TV, Facebook at Leicester Till I Die the group, Twitter and Periscope at Leicester TID. Get your comments in. We want to know what you think of the team. Was it a surprise? Strong lineup. Catch us after the show if you want to, and shows are always loaded up to the old podcast, Spotify, Apple iTunes, and Anchor and Google. We've got a hi Chris here. I've no idea who you are, but I'll say hi back. If you are on Facebook, please remember, give that little link, click a link, and a click even, and it just brings your Facebook details up. I was kind of surprised by the team. I thought might see an Nacho in, to be honest with you. I thought, you know, we've got to go for a win against Slavia Prague. Nacho can't play. Perez is injured. Should Nacho have played today instead of Vardy? He's gone full strength. Let's see what my colleague Josh thinks. Good evening. Oh, sorry, good evening. I keep saying good evening. I'm completely lost with all the kickoff times and everything. Good afternoon, even, Josh.
Good afternoon, Chris. Just before we start, I noticed obviously your Marvel intro, the Marvel type intro before the beginning of the video. If yourself and your co-hosts were the Avengers, who would we be? Maybe that's one for your viewers to get in on the comments. I think you'd be I think you'd be Iron Man, because you've got all the gadgets and you're the head of the show. So I give you Iron Man, to be honest with you.
Can I be honest with you? I'd take that, because Iron Man is actually my favourite all time. I love Marvel. Disappointed with DC. Love Marvel.
There you go.
Iron Man is my favourite, closely followed by Doctor Strange. I'd probably have to give you the Hulk.
It probably matches my mood if we get beat, to be honest with you. So yeah, I agree.
Well, I'm trying to think sort of Josh merging into Tyson Fury, merging into the Hulk slowly, bit by bit. 5 minutes. We might get a mention on Sky. What do you think? They put the start time back 5 minutes.
I know. I kept thinking to myself, because I was waiting for obviously the team to be announced, and I thought it's usually an hour before kick-off. So looking at the time, and I thought, well, it's gone 1 o'clock and nothing's been released there. About 2 or 3 minutes past 1, and I didn't actually realise that they'd moved the kick-off time back. But it's just typical, isn't it? I guess.
Yes, yeah, it is. Surprised he's gone for a pretty strong lineup, hasn't he?
It looks like it, yeah. I know. When I looked at the side, obviously I had to start from the top. So, you got Schmeichel, Castagne's back, which I think is fantastic news. And I see Luke Thomas starting, and I thought, well, maybe Ricardo ain't made the trip then. And then obviously further down the list, I seen him starting. I thought, well, it looks like he's going to be playing. It looks like he's going to be right wing, if anything, which again we'll get onto it. I know we speak about Cengiz Under a lot, but if Ricardo's starting, then where does it leave Under? You got an out and out right winger who can't seem to get a game, so it's definitely one to look at.
And I mean, are you surprised with the Nacho not starting? I mean, I obviously pleased that Vardy starts. My worry is he gets an injury at all. We literally have not got a striker to play up front.
Yeah, I'd sooner Nacho started today. Vardy, the last few games, I know he scored against Liverpool, but I think he's looked a bit not rusty as such, but obviously he's just getting over a biggish operation himself. So I thought, yeah, I agree with you. I thought Nacho might get the nod today, and I think it'd have been justified really, because I think the last few games that Nacho's played, he's done quite well. So yeah, it's surprising really.
Yeah. I don't want to sort of get too excited, because we have had a lot of false dawns with Nacho before. And as you know, I have been quite a vocal critic of him. But credit where credit's due, these last few games, he has stepped up to the mark. And, I'm trying to look at him past the goal scoring, because at the end of the day, up until recently, Vardy had gone 5 or 6 games without scoring. Of course, because it's Vardy, he gets away with it. But it was a disappointing game on Thursday. And I mean, obviously, Brendan is looking at last season. He doesn't want to let that slip go. I mean, I put in the introduction here, look at the table, and there's a bit of a gap forming at the top there. And Villa, they're not far off. They've got 2 games in hand. If we can beat them, like beating Liverpool the other week, then it does put that widen the gap, as they say.
You're right. It's the perfect time as well for us to, like you say, put a bit of breathing space between us and the chasing pack. I know, obviously, Everton had a cracking result against Liverpool yesterday, so I think they've got another game in hand or so they'll be up there. Villa, as you say, they're not a million miles away either. 2 games in hand, they can soon get into the top 4. We've had a few chances in the past though where results have gone our way elsewhere, and we've had to do the business. Like last season, it happened a number of times where we could have pulled 6-7 points clear here and there, and we just didn't do it. We didn't turn up. So hopefully we've learned his lessons from that, and there's not a better incentive really today than the lads can look at that Liverpool result from yesterday against Everton and think, well, we could pull 9 points clear of 6th here, really. Do you know what I mean? And get a lot more breathing space. So it's a massive game today, and it's a big chance to get a few more points on board and start pulling clear of the teams behind us.
Chelsea are coming back. They obviously got the draw at the moment. New manager syndrome, do you think, with them?
I think so. I mean, I think Tuchel's a good manager. Wherever he's gone, he's done quite well. I know it didn't really work out well at PSG for him, but I think that will more behind the scenes sort of things. I know he's wherever he's gone. I know at Dortmund as well, he could be quite critical of the boards that the clubs he's joined. So it wouldn't surprise me with we all know what Roman Abramovich is like if that turns sour in another couple of years or so. But he looks like it with Chelsea. I know obviously under Frank Lampard it didn't turn out well, but they've got some really good players, and they just needed the right sort of managers to come in. I think Tuchel will get them going definitely.
I just hope that it's not really this season, and like I say, once that new manager coming in syndrome slows down a little bit, that they fall back. I mean, we're going to come and look at the team in a little bit more detail in a minute, but what's been worrying me of recent is our performances, to be honest with you, and some of the results have kind of overlap that. I mean, this is the form guide going in. Villa's, they've had a couple of wins, same number of wins as us. They've had, but they've also had a couple of bad losses to West Ham and Burnley, who you thought win, but of course, great win for them over Arsenal. But you look at our last few games. Leeds, we know that was poor. Fulham, give the credit where it's due. Wolves was a dire game. We sort of, I don't know what we were doing, to be honest with you. It was like a Sunday morning kick around. We just didn't perform at all. And I've got to be honest with you, I know we beat Liverpool 3-1, and I know at the end of the day, it is the result that matters. Of course it is. But up until that 75th minute, we weren't in the game, I don't think. I think we were literally like a heavyweight boxer stuck on the ropes being pounded by our opponent. And the performance on Thursday was absolutely dire as well. And we were lucky. Well, not lucky because they didn't turn up much either. But it's the performances that have been worrying me.
I agree. And I think you're right when you look at the bigger picture and you say, well, it's 3 points and a win's a win. But again, I think you're right, mate. I think really the only time, I mean, obviously beating Liverpool was massive for any team, and to do it in the last 15, 20 minutes was massive for us. But obviously, like you say, looking back at them games there, the Fulham game, we performed well. First half, I thought we were really good. Then second half, it was just a case of managing the game and getting the 3 points. But other than that, the only performance really that I could take anything from positives regarding the tactics and the style of play was Everton. I thought Everton away we played really well. I thought we should have come away with more than a point there. But yeah, I agree. I think going back, you look at the Wolves game and the game on Thursday. I thought first half we did okay, but second half they just come out and they just looked a lot more hungry than we did. I thought we were quite fortunate on Thursday to come away with a draw, really.
I am still here. I'm just my mouse has decided to stop working, and I was just looking for another mouse.
That's all right.
I am still here. Stephen Collins has said here, if nothing's working now for me. Here we go. No, there we go.
So I know, he's put there about Maddison upstage and Grealish, but
Grealish isn't even in the team today. That's going to be, you've got to look at that and think, like, that's going to give you a boost, hasn't it?
Yeah, he's a massive player for them, and obviously everybody knows how vital he is to the way they play. Grealish, he splits opinion amongst a lot of fans. Obviously, if he's the type of player, if he plays for you, absolutely love him. I think He's obviously got the reputation of being a diver, and he does go down easy. But you look at the way he plays, and he just he shifts the ball at the last second, and he draws a lot of fouls. And if you've got a player like that for your team, especially in the games that if you are winning, little things like that can slow the game down and take the momentum away from the other side. So it's a massive benefit for us that he's not playing today. But having said that, I've been really impressed with Villa this season. They've got some cracking players, and they've got definitely other attacking players to look out for.
I mean, he's one of those players, and I admire him, and I know he's for a reasonably local rival, etc. But if he was in our team, we'd love him for what he did. You know, we remember Robbie Savage. I don't know whether you might be too young man. I don't know, but
no. I remember Savage. Yeah.
I mean, absolutely, we hate him since he left us. But when he was with us, whatever he did, we love the guy, and I think Grealish is one of those. But yeah, it's like if anybody looks at us, if Vardy's not playing, they immediately think like, oh, you know, that's good news. Stephen Collins, great news. Chris was not aware Grealish was out. Stephen also says, and thanks for your comment, Stephen, Under's omission is telling. Well, let's have a look at the our squad in a bit more detail now. So we've got Schmeichel, which I think, you know, goes without saying. Castagna, Evans, Soyuncu, Thomas. Like you say, Thomas is there. I was quite expecting him to play midweek, to be honest with you. Ndidi, Tillemans, Ricardo, Maddison. I think Ricardo is that Allbrighton under role. And then obviously Vardy up front. A strong team. Allbrighton, what do you think about the omission of Allbrighton?
I sort of expected him to start because again, we've said on the last couple of months really how impressive he's been for us this season. I don't know if we've got, maybe Brendan's gone into the game and he's sort of looking to counteract. He's anticipated Grealish maybe starting, and he's looked at going to pretty much. Well, we know that Castagna could play either side, but two pretty much right backs on the right wing to sort of counteract there, Grealish coming down that side, because we know how tricky he is. That's the only reason I can think of really. But having said that, Allbrighton's very good defensively as well. Maybe that's why he's not gone for Under, because again he thought maybe Grealish was starting. So it's definitely an interesting team selection anyway.
Under isn't, and I think this is Under's problem, is if we do sign him, I think he would never be a regular starter. I think he'd be like a squad player. Now, whether we want to pay what's being rumoured for him as a squad player, but his defensive responsibilities aren't there. Let's be honest with you. He's going forward. And like you say, had Grealish been playing, you've got Castagna with Ricardo in front of him, overlapping each other, two obviously defensive-minded players. Allbrighton, he used to scare me in the defence. I always think he had a penalty in him if he got him in the box. But he's obviously, you know, got matured. I'm just thinking, you know, Allbrighton, let's be honest with you, he's getting on a little bit now, isn't he? And maybe, you know, these games are coming thick and fast.
He is. I mean, it's straight. When you think of like football, how old's Allbrighton? He's 32, something like that. And as a fan, I look at him and I think, yeah, he's getting on a bit now. But I mean, I'm 31. So then I look at him at 32 and I think, well, bloody hell, you know, I shouldn't really be saying too much. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Obviously, he has played a lot of football for us this season, a lot more than what anybody expected, really. I think everybody sort of, when we signed Under, we all assumed, well, I certainly did, that he'd be our starting right winger, really. Maybe Allbrighton, maybe he's rested him for the game on Thursday, who knows.
We have to have a look at that in more detail. I'm just going to quickly bring this up again. Stefan, I'm thinking pretty much is a Villa fan there. He has his Leicester City top on, not a Villa top. I couldn't put my Villa top on, Stefan, because it's hung up on top of the toilet rolls in the toilet for me to use when I shit myself laughing at the result later. So that's where my Villa top is. When you look at a team these days and any team selection, it's not like we're looking at that particular game and. You've got to think we've got another game coming up midweek, you know, who's going to be fit, and we haven't got a fully fit squad, so he has to think about sort of rotating. And let's be honest with you, he'd be buggered if he does, buggered if he doesn't, Rodgers, because if we went out with a second string team, we'd be sat here roasting him.
Yeah, and it's always been like it's sort of always been like that. Whoever's been in charge, I think personally for me, I think Brendan's really managed the team really well this season with the amount of games that he's had, with obviously COVID and having to cram as many fixtures in as we can. As I said to you the other week, we've seen a lot more midweek Premier League games this season than probably there's been for God knows how many years.
Yeah.
I think we've rotated at the right sort of times as well. I think the players that have come in have done a massive job for us. Like you say, he's sort of damned if he does, damned if he don't. And I suppose if we go on to win today, and then God forbid on Thursday we get knocked out of the Europa League, then he's going to come in for some stick, and vice versa. Really, today he's sort of he can't win either way, I guess.
No. At the moment, though, fingers crossed, the treble is still on.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
Wouldn't it just? Yeah, Thomas in there. I mean, to be honest with you, I've been impressed with Thomas. I don't think there's anything to worry about there. I think he gives a good, solid performance when he's asked.
Yeah, I thought on Thursday I was really impressed with him on Thursday as well. He showed a lot of maturity, and it's to go away in the Europa League, especially to a place like the Czech Republic, and play as well as he did, and because he's still, let's be honest, he's still relatively. He's a newcomer to the team. I know he's played quite a bit of football for us now, but yeah, I thought on Thursday he was definitely one of the standout players, purely for how mature he was in his performance. He drew some good fouls at vital times as well. He held the ball up well, and he didn't look out of place at all.
And I thought he was developing a really, really good understanding with Harvey Barnes down that side. I thought the two of them, there were some nice flicks and clicks between them. And I know they're both probably at some point were together in the youth team, but that's great to see. When you're seeing players clicking and interacting like that, you're thinking like, wow, this is good for the future. Yeah,
and as you say, they're only really young lads as well. So hopefully we can, if they kick on and we start becoming, one of the established so-called bigger six, as they say. Players like that, young players who come in and as well as they're doing, they're not going to want to look elsewhere. They're going to think, well, we're a club that are going places, especially with things like, you take into account, the new training ground, and it's just all about being consistent now. I know, I personally, this season, I didn't expect us to be where we are. At the start of the season, I said anywhere in the top 8 and a good Europa League run would be a good season, purely because how we tailed off at the end of last season. So we just need to keep it up, and as you say, players like that will want to stay.
I was worried, I must admit, because obviously, apart from Wolves in recent seasons, the Europa League has been like the kiss of death for teams the following season. But talking of, sorry, carry on, mate.
Just quickly, and that's a really good point as well. I didn't think we'd managed to juggle as many competitions as we have done this season and come out of it as well as we have. So that's a really good point. Yeah.
I mean, for me, and I thought James Maddison summed it up really well after the Liverpool game. Like, it's not just Liverpool that have had injury problems. I mean, at the start of the season, I was bemoaning we'd got literally all our defence out. We had, we could have put a field of injured players out there and made a full team up. But it's every club suffering the same. But if we win anything this season, or even if we finish in that top 4 for the Champions League, Brendan's got to be up there for manager of the season, hasn't he, with how he's managed things?
You know what? It's strange you say that. I was thinking about that the other day, and he seems to be. I know people, at the minute, we're being described as the Invisibles, and that can carry on for me as much as they want, because we're just quietly going about as business, picking up good results, and other teams are sort of looking at, Leicester are doing well, but let's talk about Spurs, or let's talk about Arsenal's demise and things like that. We're not really getting the praise that I think we deserve. And like you say, I think everybody realises Brendan's is a top manager, but I don't think everybody realises how good he is, as daft as that sounds. I know obviously he did a cracking job at Liverpool when he was there. He went to Celtic and won pretty much everything with them. But long may it continue for me, mate. If we're flying under the radar and we're still up there, in second, third come next month, April time, then he's definitely got to be in with a shout for manager of the season.
And just a quick intervention here, because West Ham are leading Tottenham 2-1 at the moment. So
is it 2-1 now? Yeah,
2-1 now. Yeah. Yes. So
I've seen it at 2-0.
Yeah, Chelsea have dropped out the top four. West Ham there. Tottenham still down somewhere in ninth. Let me just have a look. Let me just have. Oh yeah, there they are, right down there. Tottenham. You know, who came ninth in an 8-horse race, as they say. Quickly, and what I want anybody that's watching, get your score predictions in. We're going to be doing that in 1 second, but. This is the Villa team. Like we said before, there's no Grealish there. Still some good, players. They've got Traore, Barkley, El Ghazi, Watkins. That's not a bad lineup, that midfield into strikers, is it?
Still a very good side, mate. I think the player that really stands out for me, because I think he puts in a shift every single game, and he's sort of their midfield general, is John McGinn. Like I've said to you before, my missus family, they're all from Edinburgh, so they're Hibs fans. So I think John McGinn's he's a bit of a hero for them, and they speak highly of him. I didn't expect him to come and do as well in the Premier League as he has done. But yeah, he's a massive player for them. And like you say, I think Ross Barkley's he's always been a player who turns up against us. I know he scored for Chelsea in the FA Cup against us last season. Scored the late winner for Villa against us this season, and you've got the likes of El Ghazi's brilliant on his day. Traore's fast, and obviously Watkins up top. So as much as Grealish being out is a massive positive for us, we still need to be very wary of what they've got going forward, because they will trouble us today without doubt.
We've just got to make sure that we play for the whole 94, 5, 6 minutes, whatever it is, because they do like to score a last-minute goal against us, don't they? League Cup semi-finals, the game earlier in the season, Ross Barkley.
Yeah.
Although I was talking to a Villa fan Friday night in the opposition view, and they're actually quite disappointed with Barkley, although he does provide the odd goal. They're not overly impressed with him, but let's hope he has one of those games. And like I say, let's just play until the final whistle, please. Quick break, then we're going to come back and we're going to get your score prediction, Josh, and have a look at what other people's are as well.
This is Leicester Till I Die TV. Please subscribe now on YouTube.
So we've got Steve Walsh. He's gone for 2-1 Leicester, as indeed has Ian Marshall. I've gone 2-0. I think we'll manage to hold on for 90 whatever minutes it is. Steve Lynix, he's gone for 1-1. He thinks it's going to be a tougher game. I know you're going to predict that we're going to score from a corner, but what's your score prediction going to be, Josh?
Just on that, I'm glad we finally put that to bed. Thank God. If we'd have gone a full season, I don't know what I'd have done. Up until I saw Grealish was out, I went for a draw. I thought a point would have been a good result today. I'm going to go purely for the fact that, like I say, Grealish is out, and again, I'm not contradicting myself. I think we still need to be very, very wary of what they've got attacking. I'm going to go 2-1 to us.
2-1 to us. Brilliant. We've always looked like we've got a goal conceding in us, don't we? Let's have a look what people say. Mad, good evening, Matt. Good evening. I keep saying good evening, don't I? It's because I've got all the curtains shut for the lights and everything. Good afternoon. I need to move my clock down so I can see the time. Jamie Chapman, he's gone 3-1 to Leicester. Lee, good evening, Lee. How the devil are you and your lovely family? You getting any sleep yet? 2-1 to Foxes. Had to look at that then for a minute. Stephen Collins, 3-1 to the Foxes. Roy, good evening, Roy. Good evening. I've done it again straight away. Good afternoon. I'm going to have it tattooed on my glasses. Villa 0, City 1. Mad has gone here 3-2. Oh, that's going to be a bit tight. I wouldn't fancy that too much. And then 3-1 Tony. Good afternoon, Tony. And Mad, 3-2 to Leicester City. Well, fingers crossed we're going to do it. Let's
hopefully, mate.
Thanks for joining
hopefully.
us. Always, Josh. And we're going to see you back Tuesday night for the European show.
Yes, mate. Hopefully, we know a bit more about Slavia Prague this week over last week. Did a bit of research, but I think having obviously watched the game on Thursday, it's definitely going to be a bit more insight into how they play and such. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, bud.
You knew more than me and probably half the Leicester City fans put together. So what you did. And we are going to be joined on that for the ones of us that are of a certain age by ex-Fox Paul Reed, who played for Leicester between 1986 and 1992. So those of you that are old enough to remember, he'll be joining Josh and me Tuesday night, 7 o'clock. For the European show. Josh, match is coming up in 14 minutes. Let's enjoy it. Let's hope for 3 points. I'll see you Tuesday night, mate. Stay safe to you and your family.
And you, mate. Look after yourself, Chris. See you Tuesday, pal.
Cheers. Thanks a lot, mate. Take care.
Cheers, mate. Bye.
Cheers. So, thanks very much to Josh for joining us there. 15 minutes. Can we do it, guys? We need the 3 points with the results going for us in what kind of a way. We need to get the 3 points. But how often, when other teams put us in a good position, do we shoot ourselves in the foot? Hey, it's called being a Leicester City fan, isn't it? We're going to be back 45 minutes approximately, 40 to 45 minutes approximately after the end of the game. So please join us then with your happy comments, your pissed off comments, your disgusted comments, your my God, what was that comments, or your I'm drunk, I'm celebrating, yay, we got 3 points comments. We'll be joined hopefully by ex-Fox again, Julian Watts, and of course our own version of Jesus. Let's hope he's on our side tonight, Brad. Guys, see you, like I say, be about 4:30, 4:40. Stay safe, guys. Thanks so much for joining us, and we will see you later on. Take care now, and goodbye.
Leicester Till I Die podcasts on the Apple iTunes, Spotify, Google, Anchor, and all podcast platforms.
Thanks for watching Leicester Till I Die. This is Chris saying goodbye and see you next time.